Hello, today I'm talking about old age security, OAS. I will be talking about the facts, who can apply, how much you will receive, how to use the OAS estimator, and step-by-step teaching you how to fill in the application form. So let's look at the facts first. So OAS is a monthly payment you can get if you are 65 or older, and it is a taxable income. And in some cases, Service Canada will automatically enroll you, but in other cases, you need to submit your application. But I strongly recommend you to submit the application by yourself. Then the amount you receive depends on your income and how long you live in Canada or specific countries after the age of 18. And you can apply for the GIS, Guaranteed Income Supplement. This is the extra additional benefits with the old age security. So you can apply this benefit at the same time as you apply for the OAS pension. So as long as you are qualified for that, they will automatically add it into your OAS. So the government, the Service Canada will check whether you are eligible or not. And your employment history is not a factor in determining your eligibility. That means even if you have never worked in Canada before or you are still working, you can receive OAS. Do you qualify? Like, who can apply? So if you are living in Canada, you must be 65 years old or older, and you must be a Canadian citizen or a legal resident at the time you approve your OAS pension application, and you have resided in Canada for at least 10 years since the age of 18. If you are living outside of Canada, you must be 65 years old or older and have been a Canadian citizen or legal resident of Canada on the day before you left Canada, and have resided in Canada for at least 20 years since the age of 18. How much you would receive? So that's for 2023 from October to December. So the age group is from 65 to 74 and 75 and over. So the maximum monthly payment amount is this. And to receive the OAS, your annual income has to be below less than this amount. So this is a roughly idea about how much you will receive. Depends on the age and also depends on your income. But this always been changing. It really depends on the current, the economics of the this year. So you needed to check Service Canada, or you can Google search OAS and go to the government website. They do have this information. And this chart is about the how much you will receive. It really depends on when you submit your application or when you want to start to receive your OAS pension. So you can collect a higher monthly OAS pension if you delay. So if, like, say you start your OAS at age of 65, then the monthly payment is $691. And no matter how old you are later in the future, like say once you go to the 70, you still receive this amount money per month. But if you say you delay to receive your OAS pension at the age of 70, then every month you will receive $940. So it really depends your needs. Some people said, "Oh, I just wanted to receive my OAS as soon as I'm qualified." So that will be the 65, and you receive this amount of the money for the for the rest of the years in the future. Except some government will increase totally like the OAS amount to a certain amount because of the inflation, other things. And some people think, oh, I wanted to get more, and currently I'm still working, like for these 5 years I'm still working, I still receive money, so I can delay to 70 when I was retired, and I get a higher monthly payment. So it really depends your own needs, and to choose when you start to receive your OAS. Estimator, let's click this. You can go to the Google search and put the OAS estimator. They will direct you to Government of Canada website. So that's the website. Let's go down. Stat benefits estimator. So this will help you to get a rough idea how much you will get. So age, let's say, I just, for example, already received the OAS? No. Next step, income. Let's say the income is 2000. Legal status, yes. Since the age of 18, have you only lived in Canada? No, probably the person, like say if you immigrant to Canada, then it's no. But if you born in Canada, then choose yes. How many years? Let's say 30 years. Marital status, like married. Like it really depends on your own situation. You can choose which applies to your situation. Let's say married, and they need a partner's information. Are you and your partner living apart? No. Partner brought a birthday. Let's say this. Annual income, partner. Let's say 10,000. Legal status, yes. Only live in Canada, let's say no. And I lived 30 years already. Does your partner receive the OAS security pension? Let's say no. And estimate my benefit. Then they will tell you how much from the old age security and how much from the GIS, guaranteed income supplement, and your total monthly income is this. But if there are anything situation change, let's say your partner also received the OAS at the same time, you can see there will change the benefit. So this is the old age, this is a GIS, and this is the total amount of money. And you will see the big difference is GIS. Okay, so this is a good estimator for you to get roughly idea how much you can get from the OAS plus the GIS. Now let's go to the application form. So your application, they have the 6 steps. First, determine if you need to apply. 2, decide when you want your OAS to start. 3, submit your application. 4, receive a response from us. 5, review your application status. 6, if you disagree with the decision, then what kind of the next steps you need to go. So let's go to the application. For the application, they do have 2 options. One is apply online. So you can apply online. You must be at least 1 month past your 64th birthday. And you need to register a My Service Canada account. Then you can do online. And the second option is paper application. So you need to download the application form called ISP-3550 and fill in the application form and print out and sign and mail to the government, or you can submit the paper application to one of the Service Canada offices or locations in person. So let's go to the application form. So this is the application form for the old age security pension and the guaranteed income supplement. We call the OAS and the GRS. So section A, personal information. Social insurance number, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, so 9 digits. Preferred language, yes, English. This is optional. And the first name, let's say AA. Last name, baby. Date of birth, let's say 1958, January 1st. And the last name at birth, if it's different, then put here. But if it is not different, just leave it blank. And you don't need to provide proof of your date of birth when you apply, as long as they will contact you for the proof later. Home address, let's say 1 Queen Street, Toronto, Ontario, country, Canada. Next one. Telephone number. Yeah, this is all the fake information. I just gave you a reference how to fill in this form and I guide you how to do step by step. So mailing address, if it is different, then you need to put the mailing address here. But if it is the same, just leave it blank. So this is the information already mentioned in the previous slides. And this is a pension start date, like different age, your delay, the start of receiving OAS, the amount of the money you receive will be the different. And the delay, the later, then the amount will be higher. So they will ask you, when do you want your OAS pension to start? So it depends on your situation. Let's say the person wanted to start as soon as the person is eligible for the OAS. But if you wanted to specify the start date, click here and put the year and a month. Okay, then legal status. I'm living in Canada, so I am a, let's say, Canadian citizen. If you entered Canada from another country, were you admitted into Canada under a sponsorship agreement? Let's say some seniors came in Canada sponsored by their children. And in that case, you needed to check yes. But if you're living outside of Canada, then you needed to check the status like before I left I was. So I just give you a a reference. Like a normal situation. So I live in Canada, I'm a Canadian citizen. I sponsored by my parents to immigrant to Canada. If you born in Canada, then just go to the question B4. But if you born outside of Canada, then put your landing date. So let's say the seniors landed in Canada in 1990, January 1st. What type of the immigration document? Let's say permanent resident, because the senior sponsored by their children. In my case here, as example. Have you always lived in Canada since age of 18? So this is for like the people who born in Canada, then normally you need to check yes. But if you immigrant to Canada, then no. So go to question B5. So they will ask you to provide your residence history since age of 18. So let's say the person age of 18 is 1970. 1976 January 1st, when the person in the age of 18 till he landed to Canada. Let's say that time the person was in China, and checked if you also worked in this country. If the person worked, then check yes. If no, then you don't need to check. Have you applied for a benefit from this country, from China? Let's say no. Your insurance or identification number in this country. So any national ID or insurance, like kind of like same as the social insurance number. Let's say it's from 1990 January 1st to now, the person living in Canada, and the person is not working, and no any benefits received, and a social insurance number. So you don't need to provide a proof of your statement of the residence, as long as Service Canada will contact you to ask for this information later if they want. And a certain absence from Canada may be included as a residence in Canada. For example, military, diplomatic service, studying abroad, employment with an international agency or Canadian corporation, missionary. So because of this reason, you work outside of Canada, they still count this as you lived in Canada. Okay, Section C, applying for the guaranteed income supplement. So if you check this box, that means you don't want to apply. But I strongly recommend you to apply when at the same time as you apply for the OAS. So do not check this box. Okay, so the income. Did you retire from work in the last 2 years, or do you expect to retire in the next 2 years? So if yes, then please put the retirement date. But if no, then check no. Let's say no. Has your pension income been reduced in the last 2 years, or do you expect it will be reduced in the next 2 years? If it doesn't apply to you, just put no. Did you receive income from another country? If yes, then indicate the type of income, for example, wage, pension, investment, and you also can convert the local currency into the Canadian dollars. But if you don't receive any income from another country, just click no. Marital status, let's say married. And this is for, like, say, if you and your spouse or common law partner living apart for reasons beyond your control, then you need to check yes, and when does this relationship start. But if no, then just click no, or not applicable, like say I don't have spouse or common law partner. Information about your spouse, common law partner. But if you don't have a spouse or common law partner, just go to the section D directly. So let's say the person has a spouse, the first name, let's say CC, last name DD, and a social insurance number, and a date of birth, say the same date, date of the marriage, let's say, and a home address if different from the address in section A. If the same, you don't need to put it here. And do your spouse or common law partner retire from work in the last 2 years, or does your spouse or common law partner expect to retire in the next 2 years? Let's say both of them are retired like 10 years ago, then you don't need to put yes, then choose no. Has your spouse or common law partner's pension income have been reduced in the last 2 years or will be reduced in the next 2 years? No. If the first time to apply, then no. Does your spouse common law receive income from another country? Let's say no. If your spouse common law partner lives in Canada, complete this section. But if lives outside of Canada, go to the section D. So here, they entered Canada from another country. So it's under a sponsorship agreement. Yes, like both of the seniors are sponsored by their children to immigrate to Canada, in my case, as example. But if no, then you just put no. The section D, payment information. So you needed to provide the banking information. Then later, the government will pay the money directly to your bank account. So they need the bank number, institution number, account number, and the names on the account. But if you don't want to fill in those part of the information, that is okay. You just attach a void check. Taxes and your older age security pension. If you are not a resident of Canada for tax purpose, is your net world income for the year 2023 more than this amount? So they look at your, the family net income. So no, it's a low income senior couple. Yeah, so this money, if you over, then they will affect your old age security amount. So that means if you are outside of Canada or you are not the resident of Canada for tax purpose. But if, like, say, you are the Canadian residents only, and then if you live outside of Canada, then go to the section E. But if you don't, you lived in Canada, then you need to fill in this part. So let's go down. Do you want income tax deducted from your monthly OAS payment? So we normally recommend the people to choose the first one. So don't deduct income tax from my monthly payment at this time. So you can do the tax return, you're filing your income tax every year by the end of year. If you choose this, then they will deduct amount of the tax from your monthly payment. A little bit like complicated. So choose the first choice. That will be more simple. You just needed to do the income tax filing by the end of the the tax month or tax year. Then till the accountant to do that for you. So section E, benefits from other country. Section F, declaration and signature. So this is the final page for the signature. Here you need to sign. This is the signature of the applicant and the date. And this is the signature of your spouse or common law partner and the date. So if both of you needed to submit the application, so you needed to fill in 2 application forms and sign each form. So yeah, so a couple wanted to apply for the OAS and the GIS at the same time, you needed to fill in the 2 forms by themselves. So they cannot fill in 1 form and submit to 1. And for the F3, you don't need to fill in this part, that only for the signature witness or the authorized person. And this is a term. Okay, so this is the mailing address. For Ontario, they have the different mailing address depending on the postcodes beginning with the different letter. But if you wanted to submit in person, you just Google search the Service Canada location or offices. You can submit the application for in person. If not, then here is the mailing address. This is Ontario, like 2. And there are other provinces mailing address. Okay, so that's all for the OAS and a little bit about the GIS. And we are talking about the facts, information like who can apply, how much you will receive, and how to use the OAS estimator, and step by step teach you how to fill in the form. If you do have any questions, you can leave your questions in the comments under the video. And also, if you wanted to learn other videos about like Canadian citizenship, permanent residence, permanent resident card renewal application, those kind of applications, you can check my channel 00 settlement, and you will find a playlist called English videos, and there are many videos there, and you will find the one you want. Thank you.